Hello and welcome. This video is meant to be a guide for you to know how to create and manage users access role. So as a super admin, you already have access to basically all the functions of the system. So you would see a menu called admin. So clicking on the admin, you would have access to the administrative end or the back end of the system, which looks more like this. So when you get here, what you just need to look for is this menu called more. So clicking on the more, you scroll down to this menu called system settings. So you click on system settings. While on system settings, what you're actually looking for is the menu called access role, which is right here. So let's click on the access role. So while on the access role, you would be welcomed with a list of all access roles that has been created in the system. So now we're going to be looking at managing the parish account, parish admin officer, and the parish priest. So managing any of this access role is basically same process. So we're just going to focus on this three: parish account, parish admin officer, and the parish priest. So let's pick the parish accountant. So clicking on the parish accountant to select it, you could see it's highlighted in blue, and to your left side, you could see some information being displayed. But to manage this right now, all you need to do is to click on the manage access role. So clicking on the manage access role will bring you to a window that looks basically like this. And this is basically the functions or the segments of the system. But we're going to be focusing mainly on three sections: the front end submenu, the front end tabs, and the front end main menu. But we'll be starting with the front end tabs. Now for the parish accountant, you can notice at the top, the particular access role we picked is what is here. So at each time you probably maybe forgot what you picked, you can just scroll back up and you see the particular access role you're managing. So let's go down. So we're starting with the front end tab. So let's click on it. Now on the front end tabs, if you notice, we just have four menus here. We have the admin, the home tab, the tab parish and institution, and the tab report. Now the one we checked basically means this is the only tab we give access to this particular access role, which is the parish accountant. So looking at it, we just have four here: home, parish institution, reports, and admin, just the way we have it back here. So whichever one you check the box, you basically giving the user this particular access to that particular tab. So for the parish accountant, we just have the parish institution tab given to this access role. So next we'll be looking at the front end submenu. Now the front end submenu, you could see there are lots and lots of them. So basically the front end submenus are the menus you find underneath. These are like the submenus and all. So whichever access you want to give to a person, you find that you want to pick from here and give to the person. These are the sub menus for the front end. So whichever one we want to add up for this particular person, this is where you pick them from. While the last one, it's the front end main menu. Now the front end main menus are basically this. The ones on green, you could see setup, payroll, sales, procurement, and inventory, assets, view transaction, and home. That's what you basically find in here: report, sales, setup, procurement, pledges, payroll. So basically that's what you find up at the space. That's what you find up at the space. So whichever one you want to add up for the particular access role, all you just need to do is to check it up and the person will have the access to it. So that's how you manage the access roles for each of this access that you have here. Basically, now how do we actually get to create this access role? So to create any of the access role, all you just need to do is to click on the add new record button. So when you click on the add new record button, you give your access role a name. So you could just say X, Y, Z. That's our access role. I can just save it. So the moment I could just pick any of the functions here first and save. So when I save, you could see at this point I have my XYZ as my access row. So all I need to do is to click on XYZ and click on the manage access row. So I can now come down here and start adding tabs for X, Y, Z access row. So that's just basically how it works. Now to assign this particular access row to a user, so what you have to do is to locate the menu called Users Manager up here. So clicking on the Users Manager will give you a list of basically everybody who has access to the system. So most importantly, first you create a dummy account, which is important. The dummy account is important because you make use of the dummy account to test every modification or changes you've done to an access row, or to test a new access row you just created. So it's important you create a new dummy account. So you probably call it test, and then the email maybe something test at gmail.com or test or something. So at each time you make modifications, you can always select. Let's assume this is the dummy access row. So all you just need to do is to select that dummy access row, click on the edit, then you come down to the access row and you select the dummy access you recently created or you made modifications to. It could be any of the access row here that you just make changes to. So it's important you make use of the dummy user to test the access row. So after selecting that access row for that particular test, it's important you sign out of the system and you log in with the dummy access row. No, don't try that with your own users accounts, because if it's a major change, you might not be able to go back and to undo this particular change if you don't have the super admin access. So going back, let's review the access rows that we have. So we have the parish accountant. Basically, the parish accountant just has access to the parish institution tab, and on the front end main menu he has access to some of these other menus, while on the front end he also has access to basically everything that has to do with that has financial implications on as regards the system. Where next is the parish admin officer. The parish admin officer basically has access as well to the tab parish institution, and on the front end main menu he has access to parishioners, parish dashboard, pledge, and setup. While up here he also has access to anything related underneath those menus we found under the menus we have on the front end main menu. Whereas the parish priest basically has access to almost everything, or in fact everything, as deemed fit for his own parish. And finally, you might be able to pick menus from the front end sub menu and menus from the front end main menus. But if you fail to pick any of the tabs, none of those would definitely matter, because the front end sub menu and the front end main menus are all under this front end tab. So it's important you pick a tab before you pick any of these other menus. Thank you.